Good afternoon, Repeat Forum and other viewers. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my past history with crystal meth addiction. So I don't know if many of you know this, but crystal meth is extremely common in the gay community. In fact, I actually consider it synonymous with the gay community. Not necessarily like the trans community or the LGBT community, specifically the gay male community. It's used as like an aphrodisiac in the loosest sense of the term, because it's not it increases like hormones and neurotransmitters in your brain that control libido. It gives you energy because it's an actual stimulant like caffeine. And it's an appetite suppressant, so you lose weight, and for some people that will make them look more attractive. For others, like myself, people like on the New York City subway, they would actually like remark like, "What is that skeleton?" You're like, "Are you okay, dude? You look like if the wind blows, you're gonna fall over." I lost in general, I'm pretty thin. I've weighed 125 pounds pretty much my whole life, and then I would get down to like 110, and I was just like looking very gaunt in the face, like a little skeleton. And it's bad when like strangers comment like, "Hey dude, do you have an issue? Like, do you want to talk about it? You really need you need a cheeseburger or something." And at the time I was vegan on top of that, so it's like I was very underweight and feeling really weak, actually, like muscle weakness, that is, and also joint weakness. I was kind of huffing and puffing going up the stairs. I was so weak. And I would sleep 16 hours a day, even though, when I came off the meth. On the meth, I would stay up for 3 to 4 days, and I could not sleep. I tried. I had the eye mask. I would drink like chamomile tea, some warm milk, like lay in bed with like a heating pad on my back. And I just could not fall asleep because even if I closed my eyes were like going crazy, like left and right. Like they would not stop looking around. And I eventually quit crystal meth because it was no longer fun. Like the group sex parties and stuff, the people became like, I never got raped. I'm not gonna go as far as to say I got raped, but I did get sexually assaulted on at least 3 occasions. The guys got too aggressive, and they were like bigger and stronger than me. So that was really scary. But I pushed them off, and I said like, "What the fuck are you doing? Do you want me to call the cops?" Or I just got up and left, right? To like avoid conflict, because I was on drugs. Usually I had drugs on me, so I don't want the cops like investigating and me potentially getting arrested. I have a clean, I'm proud to say, very few people have this nowadays. I was never arrested. I've only had like 3 traffic violations, for parking in the wrong spot or something, or under a no standing sign. Clean, never been arrested, nothing like that. Never been admitted to a psychiatric ward. Yeah, I'm actually proud of that. All things considered, like I had a pretty difficult life, a pretty traumatic life, and with my drug abuse, you would think that there would be at least 1 arrest under my belt, but there isn't. So yeah, I was addicted for maybe 5 years, from the time I was in high school until I got out of college, and I haven't used crystal meth in 2 years. I don't want to use it, I don't need to use it, and I will never use it again. I promise to myself and to my dog. When you're on crystal meth, you're not like such a good dog owner, because you're usually, once you've been tweaking for like 3 days, you're too tired to walk the dog, honestly. And also, I actually felt like sort of like an emotional disconnect between my dog and I when I was on crystal meth. It was like, I don't know, like I couldn't bond with him when I was on it. I felt like distant, and he would come up to me and like he wanted to be petted. He wanted to play ball, but I was like irritable. I was like, "No, get away from me! Like, you're so fucking annoying, Snoopy." And he wasn't. I was being annoying. I was being irritable. And you can't take that out on a fucking animal. Like, that's a form of animal abuse. I didn't like beat him or anything in that state, but the dog deserves love and attention like a baby, right? Or another human, even an adult human, right? So I'm ashamed to say, like, I was a bad dog owner in that state. And that's part of what helped me quit. Not everything, but a big portion of it. But what really scared me was eventually I started seeing what I describe as like shadow people, literally like black silhouettes, like shadow people in the form of humans. No like discernible face, like they had no face, or but they did speak to me, not even aggressively, just like narration, like he's going to the bathroom. He just went to the bathroom an hour ago. What is wrong with him? Does he have bladder issues, right? And I actually did. I had like kidney damage for a while. I'm fine now, but I would frequently go to the bathroom, like sometimes like half an hour. And I also drank a lot of fluids on meth, to like keep it flushed out of my system, so I wasn't like overdosing. I knew many people on meth. Like I was like, dude, it's been a few hours since you've eaten or drank any fluids. I was like, would you like some coconut water or some orange juice? I always had like the tall carton of what's called Vita Coco or something, coconut water, and to like keep myself relatively hydrated. And I was still hospitalized like at least 5 times for dehydration, low sodium, low potassium, whatever. And I was like chugging that. But yeah, I would go to the restroom frequently, and the voices would be like, why do you keep going to the bathroom? Like, so that was scary. And so I was hearing auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations. I wasn't eating and I couldn't sleep. So crystal meth is pure poison. And it has like the highest recidivism rate of any drug, I believe, even higher than heroin. So you have a better chance of getting off heroin if you go into therapy, or even if you don't go into therapy, than you do getting off meth. Like something like only 10% of people are actually cured or in remission, I guess you call it, from meth. It's extremely addictive. It messes with your brain, and at this point in my life, I'm never going to do it again, and I don't want to. I don't crave it, but I would only say I'm like 99% cured, because if I was in the same room as someone and they took out like a crystal meth pipe, I may do it. I would probably just leave the room or ask them to do it elsewhere. Unfortunately, I don't associate with people like that anymore. I was at a friend's house recently and he took out his pipe, and I was like, you cannot do that in front of me. Like, you're gonna fuck my life up again. So I really put my foot down on that. I never did any, I literally only recently saw a psychologist for the first time in my life. I'm 31, by the way. And, never saw a psychologist or psychiatrist before that. Never been prescribed psychiatric medication. Never been institutionalized in a mental ward. Never had like counseling from a social worker or whatever. And I probably needed it. My mom and grandma both told me like, you need actual psychological help. You're clearly addicted. It's causing issues in the family. You're not coming into work. In reality, out of like 3 years, I really only missed maybe 3 days of work due to drug abuse over the weekend, because I was so tired by Monday. I accept that responsibility, but what are you gonna do? I'm better now. I'm really happy to say I did it without therapy. It was very difficult. I had to completely disassociate myself from the old crowd. I had to completely disassociate myself from the gay community in New York, which is really toxic. And the thing is, though, I'm actually looking for marriage. I'm not looking for a casual hookup. I've had so many over the years. I really don't need any more. There's not much more to learn or gain from it. I'm glad I got to experience like my sexual side. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think everyone deserves to feel loved, to feel intimate, and for that intimacy to be reciprocated by like a good partner, a good human being. And I consider myself like skilled in the sexual arts, not to toot my own horn, but I consider myself relatively skilled. I've also been like revenge porn once. That was really traumatic, and the way I responded to it, it was this guy. I went on like a double date once. I didn't go on the date with him. I went on the date with my boyfriend at the time, and he went with another guy. This guy Austin, who went to NYU. Austin, if you're still out there, hi, it's Morrison. I went on a date with this guy Kevin. Kevin worked in the IT industry. He was like a really gentle soul. I should hit him up again. I'm going through this phase now where I'm reconnecting with all my old friends from high school and college, and because I pushed everyone away due to my drug addiction. I was literally down to 3-4 friends in high school. I didn't talk to anyone else, and the only people I really knew were people I was having sex with, and I would not consider those friends. Those were just casual acquaintances, right? Like if I needed help, they wouldn't really there was some portion of my life where I was semi-homeless, not in the sense that I couldn't go home, in the sense that I didn't want to because I was in such a fucked up state. I didn't want to like shame my mother or shame myself. I don't want to like traumatize her. Like I looked high, I looked like I was on drugs, I looked emaciated, I looked sick. That's how I would describe it. And I'm free of that now, and I feel like I look healthy. I look better now at 31 than I did at 25, which is kind of funny. I'm experiencing like a new rebirth, and if you're struggling with any drug addiction, whether it's opiates, Xanax, or crystal meth, which I believe are the 3 most addictive, and the 3 most toxic, and the 3 with the highest recidivism rates, with the highest rates of relapsing, then I wouldn't suggest doing it like I did, doing it on your own. I would actually suggest, seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist. And I don't really believe in prescription medications. Most of them are toxic and or addictive, or there's like a natural alternative. For anxiety, chamomile and lavender and the amino acid gamma aminobutyric acid have been proven, not like theorized, to help anxiety, right? And you can check the studies on PubMed, and anyone can read them. It's written in plain English. There's not a lot of like scientific technical jargon. It's quite easy to understand. So yeah, I would explore those alternatives before you turn to something like Xanax or gabapentin. Anyway, have a good day, everyone. I've just been parked in my friend's driveway for a few minutes now. Hanging out with my friend Nicole. She's a really good person. She helped me like drive around the block while my dog went missing. I had a brain infection in October, and so I'm experiencing severe memory loss, and it's really scary sometimes. So we spent an hour looking for my dog, and he turned out to be in the backseat of the car. We were gonna go for a walk because it was warm outside, and I completely forgot. I put him in the car, so I'm like looking upstairs, downstairs, garage, backyard, and he's nowhere. And I circled the block, we drive around the block, couldn't find him. I thought like he escaped, he was chasing after a cat or something, and I didn't see him run away. I just assumed it. And the car should have been the first place I looked. So he was just sitting in the car by himself, like for an hour, probably wondering what the fuck's going on. Yeah, poor Snoopy. But yeah, we found him. Everything's fine now. It's just a little traumatic. The memory loss, worse than the brain infection, was I was actually in a coma for about 2 weeks. My mom didn't leave my bedside, but I was hallucinating voices, and I thought I heard Snoopy's paws on the hospital tile in the emergency room, but it was just in my head, and that made me really sad, actually, that my mom couldn't bring Snoopy to the emergency room to visit him. But it's for the best, because he would like flip out, like he hates tile for some reason. Like, he would like rip out someone's IV, and they would fucking die, and we'd get sued. But ultimately, he's a good boy. And he's taught me a lot about being responsible and like time management. Like, even if it's really late in the day, if I didn't have a chance to take him out in the morning to the dog park, there's like a dog park here on Staten Island. A lot of German Shepherds, not exclusively German Shepherds, but sometimes there's like up to 20 German Shepherds in Willowbrook Park on Staten Island. If you live in New York, you should drive over to Verrazano and check it out. Yeah, it's the best dog park ever, and the people there are like a family. When I had the brain infection and coma, the dog owners there like really stepped up to support my mom, because she like collapsed into a puddle. She was like so distraught that I was gonna die, and the doctors told her I was gonna die, which I don't really agree with. I didn't think that was fair, or like when you're in the most vulnerable spot in your life, like your child is potentially going to die, or if they don't die, you're most likely going to be brain dead. That's like verbatim what the doctors told her. I should curse out the doctor for that. I'm like, listen, in that situation, even if you have to fucking lie, it's like for the good of the family. Just support them in their time of need. Okay. God bless everyone. I guess I'll see you guys on the forum and Danny Roddy's podcast if he's doing one this week. All right. See ya.